Hello, welcome to another exam practice question video. Today we're going to be looking at this one here, number 8, figure 1, and it goes down onto the bottom part, that section there, with the hip and ankle section. This is a very common question, it's surrounding movement analysis. Now, for a movement analysis question, you need to know a whole range of different things. Some questions, they might range from, like this one here, it's a very simple 2-mark question, but it could expand all the way up to 6 or maybe 8 marks if they're asking for all of the different forms of analysis that you could make on a movement in sport. So things that you do need to know in a lot of detail are the bones, the different joint types, the different muscles, the different agonist and antagonistic pairs that work together, contraction types, planes and axes, and how they can all work together to bring about some form of movement. So with this question here, we are just looking at the hip and the ankle, and they are only asking us for the joint movement. So things like flexion or extension or abduction or adduction. So what is moving, or how, I should say, are these joints moving in this example? So if we just take the hip to start with, so obviously it's the join between the top of the femur and the hip, or the top half of a performer's body. And what we're looking for here in the driving phase, what we would be able to see is this angle increasing at the hip interior. So this Usain Bolt, his torso makes one side of the joint and then the femur makes the other side, and during this drive phase that angle is going to increase, meaning it is extending. So flexion is obviously where the angle decreases at a joint, extension is when the angle increases at a joint. So at the hip we have extension occurring. Now in a different question, it might focus on this and it might ask you, what's the agonist? What's the prime mover? What's the antagonist? What plane or axis is that movement action taking place in? Now in that scenario, it would be the gluteus maximus, that is contracting concentrically to bring that femur sort of down and round behind Usain Bolt, causing that extension, while the hip flexors have to be contracting eccentrically as they lengthen to allow that movement to occur. Now if we take the ankle as the next point, what joint movement is occurring in the drive phase? Well, if we were to click play and this was a video, we'd expect to see the toes remain planted on that starting block and the heel drives off from that block as Usain Bolt pushes away from it. So we've got that action of the toe moving down while the tibia and fibula move up and away from that starting block. So the movement is the toes being pushed down, or the toes are being planted into the starting block. Planted, think plantar flexion. So plantar flexion is occurring at the ankle. If they did ask you for the prime mover, then we'd be dealing with the gastrocnemius and potentially the soleus as well, which are the 2 muscles involved with plantar flexion. What are the antagonists? What muscles are allowing that movement to occur? Because what we have here, an extension phase at the ankle, we've got the increasing angle at the joint. So one muscle is going to have to be lengthening to allow that increasing of the angle to occur, and that would be the tibialis anterior in this scenario. But again, you need to be going into these sorts of exam questions on movement analysis with the bones that are moving or articulating, the muscles which are the prime mover or the agonist as well as the antagonist, the different contraction types that might be occurring, so you've got concentric, eccentric or isometric, and then perhaps the planes and the axes and how they work together as well. But that's that, a very common question, movement analysis. This is a fairly simple one on the hip and the ankle, where we've got hip extension and we've got ankle plantar flexion. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.